Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this unicorn interview. I'm so excited for everyone to get to know you and why you chose to learn grant writing. So, yeah, so why don't we just start in with why did you want to learn how to write grants?
Well, it met the criteria of what I was looking for. I had left the corporate world quite some time ago to raise my family, and I was looking to re enter the workforce, and I also wanted a career change. But I had very specific parameters. I wanted great pay, I wanted flexible hours, I wanted something that had meaning and purpose for me personally. I wanted something that didn't involve a whole lot of hard training and learning all a bunch of new apps or things like that. And I wanted something that was I could do almost anywhere because my husband, he's retired now, and we would like to be able to travel. So at first I thought, well, I'm really shooting for the moon here. There's no such occupation. But I found grant writing through a technical writing course. I had seen the course or had heard about the course in an ARP magazine, AARP for seniors. They were
Mhm.
talking about careers for seniors and that there was a shortage of technical writers. And I thought, now that's interesting. So you always want to do something new if you're going to do a new career that not many people are doing. That way you
Mhm.
always find you always have work. And so through the technical writing, I found out about grant writing. I said, "Oh, that looks like fun." So I took a very short, very inexpensive course, about 3 hours online, to see if I liked it. And I thought, well, this is really neat. I think I could actually do this. I think it'd be fun. So that kind of led me to doing more research. And I found Meredith's book, Learn How to Write a Grant.
Mhm.
And I just really loved the tone of it and her philosophy and her approach. And it seemed like something new and modern, and it wasn't stodgy and boring like I thought it would be at all. And so then that led me to take her course, and I enjoyed that, and I got my certificate. And then, I stuck with it. And in the meantime, I had a friend of mine. I had put the word out, hey, I'm trying to be a grant writer. If anybody know of any nonprofits that need some help, let me know. And a friend of mine hooked me up with a local nonprofit. So I started working with them. And in the beginning, I have graphics design skills. So in the beginning, they
Mhm.
used me for that, and I did that for them. But that helped establish credibility with
Nice.
them that I understood their organization, I believed in their cause, and I was reliable and, professional and so forth. And so then they started letting me help them with grants. And as time has gone on, that they have become a client, and that's been really great. And I joined the collective, the Learn Grant Writing Collective, and I really, really enjoy those times. So that's how I became a grant writer,
That's so
basically.
cool. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. And congratulations on your husband's retirement. He has to feel really
Thank you.
good.
Thank you. He
Yeah,
was with the Postal Service for 33 years.
it's amazing. Oh, he
Yeah,
has to be so excited to have some time to himself.
he is. He is. Thanks.
Very cool. Okay, so why did you, well, this kind of answered that. So let's
Mhm.
go to what is your proudest accomplishment so far in your grant writing journey?
Well, so far for me, just getting back in the workforce and becoming teachable again and, learning a new skill and so forth has been a huge milestone. But it's gone a lot better than I thought it would. And I think a lot of that is just the support you get from you and Meredith and the group. It's a very welcoming, inclusive, uh, patient a group of people that are very diverse and very interesting. But the biggest milestone for me was when I wrote my first prospectus,
Mm.
and Meredith helped me with it, and she coached me with it. But it was, my words and my work and my graphics and the whole thing. And she really just really boosted my confidence when she said that she would use it in her course as an example, another example of what a good prospectus, a good effective prospectus should look like. And so that was a huge milestone for me. And then the second one was that I did a funding strategy for this client, and that they were really blown away by it. They were really impressed. And I
Good.
realized, well, this is a really great deliverable that makes you look very legitimate as a grant
Mhm.
writer.
That's
So
awesome.
those are the two main ones.
Yeah, and I personally love your win of you going back to the organization that you had been volunteering for and then they decided that after, your volunteer time that they would pay you. And so I would just love to talk about how, um, maybe how that conversation went or how it made you feel to know that like that this client respected your work enough to pay you for the next round.
Well, it happened because I have formed a relationship with them. They
Mhm.
know that I believe in what they do. This is a group that specializes in recovery from substance use disorder. And so there's a lot of stigma attached to that. And it's not that easy to find people who are sympathetic or empathetic with this kind of a thing, although it is a raging problem in our country. Um, and I think that because they were willing to give me the opportunity that I delivered for them, and I showed them some areas of funding that they had never really thought about, plus matching funds that they had never thought about, which would enable them to get these really big government grants that everybody
Yeah.
likes. That impressed them a lot, and just that I actually, had some knowledge by that point, that I was, had some mentoring and coaching, and I think it really came
Mhm.
through. So that was very thrilling for me.
Yeah, it was really thrilling for me to read that email that came through. They were like, "They're gonna
Yeah.
pay me."
They're
Makes
gonna
me
pay
yeah,
me, yeah, they're gonna pay me, and now we're working out, a schedule about grants and so forth. This takes a lot of time, but we're
yeah,
on track, and I feel
cool.
like, I can really say, "I'm a grant writer now." So,
You can say that. You should be screaming it from the rooftops.
I
Um,
am.
awesome. So what are some of the key takeaways from learning with Learn Grant Writing for you?
The key takeaway from the collective that I have learned is that you can learn stuff by yourself, but you learn exponentially quicker, and it's a whole lot
Mm,
more fun when you do it with a group of people who share your interest and are like-minded,
mhm.
exponentially faster. I would never have learned all that I've learned if I had not been part of the collective. That's for sure.
Oh,
Mhm.
I love
I get to
that.
see other people's work and learn from them. I get to hear other people's questions. They get to hear mine. I hear the feedback. I'm always taking screenshots all the time, and I because I just gave up on trying to take notes because it was just too much. But that has really helped a lot. So that's what I
I
thought the key takeaway. Another key takeaway for me personally was that I realized, gee, the whole world now wants and really craves that work-life balance,
mhm.
um, very much, and that it's okay to want that. I come from a generation of where you're supposed to work, 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 and just to know that it's okay to have free time. It's okay to have me time, but yeah, work time is very refreshing, and it's fun to be with the
Mhm.
younger women and men that are doing things and very interesting things, and see how their lives are and what their passions are and how they're making a difference. It's very inspirational, really.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Like
Yeah.
going into that Facebook group every time, I'm like, gosh, how did we get to be so lucky to be surrounded by
Yes.
such rock stars all the time?
All the time, and everybody's so from such different backgrounds and from all over
Mhm.
the place.
Yeah.
You have your helicopter pilots and firefighters and academic people and scientists and people like me. So
And
so it's
graphic designers.
graphic designers
Yes.
who are changing careers.
Awesome.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Absolutely. Um, awesome. So what would you tell someone who was considering to join the Grant Writing Unicorn Collective?
I would say that it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth a shot at it. I think that the benefits of it are, as I said, it's far easier and a lot more fun to learn things with a group and to get that honest, valuable, useful feedback that you're probably not going to get from your family, or your friends. I mean, because we need to know the truth. We need to know, is this right or not? This is really important. So
Mhm.
I think that it's a very I don't know, I found it very useful, very good. And I feel very comfortable asking questions in it.
Good.
And it's just been invaluable to me.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, and then this is kind of a selfish question for us, but if there's
Mhm.
one thing that we can do to continue serving you, what would it be?
I thought about that, and I really can't think of any reason I would leave the collective unless I didn't want to do grant writing anymore, or for some reason I wasn't
Mm,
making money. Otherwise, I plan on sticking with it. So
yeah.
as far as what you can do better, I really believe that you're very responsive to our suggestions.
Cool.
And that since it's a new thing, it's an ever
Hmm.
evolving thing. And I love that you're always willing to try something new and see if it works. So I just say, just keep doing what you're doing, really.
Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to go off script now.
Okay.
Hopefully this does. But I would love to know kind of how many informational interviews that you've done or where you're at in your process with finding clients and expanding your portfolio, if that's one of your goals.
Well, it is one of my goals, and I have actually not done an informational interview yet because I already had a client that I needed to do a
Hmm.
prospectus for, a
Hmm.
proposal, which I just turned in.
Yay!
All yay! And so, and the funding strategy, and so all these things for me, since it's the first time I'm doing them, I really, sweat it out, and it takes
Yeah.
me a while, but now that I've done it, I feel really like the next confident that the next one will be much quicker. So
Awesome.
that was actually I turned in the proposal. I know it'll take a while for them to get back to me. I did have an informational interview with a um, a nonprofit in Seattle last
Cool.
night, which was great. But I came to realize through the coaching and mentoring that they're really not ready by any
Mm,
means to even write grants. But it was great talking with them,
yeah.
and getting that experience. So I'm just beginning that whole process. But I find it, I don't know, I find it very easy to make conversation, and people are usually willing to talk. And if they're not, well, it's okay. We'll just move on. But
Yeah.
so for me,
Definitely.
that's a journey that's just beginning, and I'm
Cool.
excited about it.
Yeah. So what were the red flags in the conversation last night?
Well, first of all, I knew when I went to their website that this is a very grassroots
Mm,
organization that's pretty much headed up by one woman that's probably doing like has 50 hats, wears 50 hats. And it was kind of like that. She wanted to move into a new building, but she really had no plan on how to do it. Um,
mhm.
she needs a lot of help, and I just she also didn't have the funds to pay
Right.
me, you know.
Mhm.
So, but I did give her a lot of really good advice because she
Cool.
said, "Well, I'd like to raise some money and then I'll hire you." I said, "Okay, fine." But I gave her some hints and helpful advice on how to do that even without a grant writer. Like there is money out there that you don't have to have a grant writer for. It's not a grant, but there
Mhm.
is some things you can do. And so she was grateful for that. And so I felt
Cool.
like I did help her in that way. So
Nice.
we'll see if I ever hear from her again. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
never know when
You
those
you
paths
never
cross
know.
again.
You never know. Yeah. But it
Very
but it was
cool.
we ended on a good note. It was a good
Mhm.
conversation. She thanked me
Mhm.
for calling.
Nice.
And that's really all I care about.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think it always, you take actually, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy decided he was divorced, he wanted to date again. So he was like, "I'm going to answer," and this was 40 years ago or something. "I'm going to answer every single ad in the newspaper asking for a date." So he went on a date with 100 women. He said he loved it. He just loved getting to know all of these women, and then he, eventually met his wife, and he said, "I just knew, like, there was something different about that conversation from all the previous ones." But it reminded me a little bit of our informational interviewing process, right? Like, we might only
Yeah.
find one wife out of all of these 100 conversations,
Right.
but
Right.
he probably learned so much about himself and the other women, from doing all of those interviews. Anyway, he's a
Ex-
relationship
Yeah.
scientist, so he was definitely
Oh,
doing it
wow.
from part of research, but,
And he probably
yeah,
got a
it was really
fantastic
interesting.
wife because he really took his time and looked around.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, but anyway, totally off topic. Well, cool. Well, this is incredible. I'm so proud of your journey and
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, it warms my heart that you have found a career that you really love, and that's providing you with this flexibility. And I really hope that when travel becomes a thing, that you and your husband can go do this work from Puerto
I
Rico.
hope so too, because our we have family in I'm in Georgia. We have family in Seattle. So you want to go to
Mhm.
Seattle in the summer,
Right.
get away from Georgia, right? And we have family in the Caribbean. That's when you want to go in the winter. So so that's kind of our dream, is and to
Mhm.
go for a couple of months. So that's our dream, and that
Right.
we're hoping that this will help supplement our income and make that a
Mhm.
reality.
Mhm. Oh, I love that so much. Well,
Thank you.
cool. Yeah. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
I'd like to add that I really appreciate the tone and the philosophy of the group and the books and the whole course. I love the graphics. They're contemporary, yet they're kind of approachable. And
Mhm.
I just love the way she does it. It's never, like I said, it's never stodgy, never boring. I learned, what I love about this career? I learn something new every single day. I mean,
Yes.
interesting things. And really you meet a lot of really nice people too.
Mhm.
And it keeps you involved in your community. And I think as you get older, that's really important. You don't want to get too isolated. You want to stay involved and engaged in life. And
Mhm.
this is really a
Mhm.
great way to do it. So, and I think it's a career that you could do at any age, any
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
you know.
I
I
agree.
feel very comfortable in the group because I know everybody else is new. Although some
Mhm.
people are professional grant writers, they
Mhm.
wouldn't be in the group if they didn't need the help, right?
Right.
So that's why I don't mind asking questions. I know this is new for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like you